Hey, Vernon Christian. I want to welcome you to chapel today. I'm here in the Commons, but I'm the only one. And it's just a little strange, but more about that in a minute. I think we should probably start out with a song. This first song is called God So Loved. We gave the students a bit of a week off from their contribution to chapels. They deserved it, and they really could use the extra time to focus on some of their studies, but we did have some help, admittedly. So Mrs. Konrad and I tried to put some music together, and in this first song, Ellie G helped us out. She found a way to send in a harmony line, and Simone, who has been incredible and generous in so many ways with chapel this year, was able to throw in some violin and even some cello, believe it or not, into this song, God So Loved. And sing along with us. I'll see you in a minute.
Come, are you weary? Come, are you thirsty? Come to the well that never runs dry. Drink of the water, come and thirst no more. Come, all you sinners, come find His mercy. Come to the table, He will satisfy. Taste of His goodness, find what you're looking for. For God so loved the world that He gave us His one and only Son to save us. Whoever believes in Him will live forever. Bring all your failures, bring your addictions. Come lay them down at the foot of the cross. Jesus is waiting there with open arms. For God so loved the world that He gave us His one and only Son to save us. Whoever believes in Him will live forever. The power of hell forever defeated. Now it is well. I'm walking in freedom. For God so loved, God so loved the world. Praise God, from whom all blessings flow. Praise Him, for the wonders of His love. Praise God, from whom all blessings flow. Praise Him, for the wonders of His love. For God so loved the world that He gave us His one and only Son to save. For God so loved the world that He gave us His one and only Son to save us. Whoever believes in Him will live forever. The power of hell forever defeated. Now it is well. I'm walking in freedom. For God so loved, God so loved the world. Bring all your failures, bring your addictions. Come lay them down at the foot of the cross. Jesus is waiting. God so loved the world.
All right. Now, I don't know how many of you were really paying close attention in the Monday morning show this week. If you were, you probably saw Jackson and Noah kind of giving me a hard time about how long it was taking me to follow through on my promise to introduce a little bit more student visual art. And don't worry about them. I'll deal with them later. But today is the day. And so I want to take you on a bit of a tour and introduce some pieces that maybe you haven't seen before, make some connections to our greater theme, and we'll go from there. All right, that'll bounce us into our final song for today. So kind of walk through this little gallery tour with me, if you will. All right, the first one is large. You can see it in the background. Whoa! All right, I'll get out of the way. There it is. Just breathe. Clear, right? Ruach. Now, this word might be a little bit foreign to you, but it's not foreign to the grade 7s. I think they were working with Mr. Iskis, putting these wooden pieces together, adding some of their own touches on this. But ruach is this Hebrew word that really captures a double meaning. It kind of talks about God's spirit and his breath. It's a synonym for those in that language. And so in the Old Testament, it's used to capture that piece, the ruach, God's spirit, God's breath, that he breathes life into things. And that's a little contribution from the grade 7s. And so we're moving along. Now, here we go. All right, we're going to zoom right in here. Many of you will remember this piece, right? This really is the snowball that started the avalanche. So this piece by Lisa DeBeer, she was last summer. She drew this. And she came in September. She heard about the theme. She says, Mr. Hayes, I drew this. I don't know if you'll like it or if it's relevant or whatnot, but it kind of reminds me of our theme. I'm like, it's brilliant. She brought it in, and we talked together, and she decided she had this vision how it could be expanded. And so it went from this to this. Now, you know that piece, right? Many of you students, you've seen that before. And Lisa would be the first one to tell you she had more intentions, right, to make it even bigger than it is now. But I've been adding some pieces of different student art over the last week to fill it out just for our gallery tour today. And I want to kind of introduce a few of them maybe more closely, okay? So some of them you've seen before, but here's the thing. With a theme like God breathed, there's almost two opposite things seem to be going on at the same time. On one hand, you've got life, right? Life-giving breath. There's a brightness to it. It's just entirely positive. And on the flip side, in order to bring life into something or to breathe life into something, you need to have something that's lifeless. And in some cases, God's breathing into things that are dead, right? That's the idea in Ezekiel 37, where there's this valley of bones and skeletons that are entirely lifeless. And in some ways, like, that's a pretty profound image of death, the skeleton. And it's kind of hard to look at times, right? There's a heaviness to that. And for the visual artist, though, to try and capture that, and it comes out in different ways, in really cool ways, depending on the artist. So you may have seen this before. This is Avi in grade 8. She captures the bones this way, right? Fantastic. There's other pieces too. Check this out. We got some lungs. Oh, Colton, there's your piece. I found a way to get it up there. Fantastic. Here we go. It's a piece by Paige. You've got a hand here. It's like the hand is extended, offering life to something that's dead. The skeleton's hand. Here's an edgy piece. Faith did an incredible job capturing just kind of the darkness, the lifelessness in this figure here. And then did a second piece. It's kind of a two-piece thing right here, and brings the life, right? Her interpretation of God bringing life into something that's lifeless. It's brilliant. Well done, Paige. Okay, we're looking around here. Here we go. Back in. You've seen this. This is a Maya's piece. We have some old things. Like, this is the positive aspect of it, right? The Easter story. Here's an older piece, too, from a younger student. Oh, shout out to Asher here. Look at that, Asher. Death underneath the ground, breathing life. Here's one by Brooklyn. The caption below says, 100 billion creatures catch your breath. The idea of God's breath in all of his creatures. Well done, Brooklyn. Here's another dark one, right? Look at this. Check this out. This is by Olivia. I love this one. This skull that captures just kind of this, it's like morbid, literally a morbid scene. I love the piracy too, a little gold bling in the teeth. But then she brings in the rich reds, the warm, vibrant roses to signify or to symbolize the life that God can breathe into something that seems beyond hope, right? We can go back in time, see some brilliant pieces here that were around Remembrance Day. Back in November, Amaya and Emily, Sydney gave us another piece here. But even then, another expression where with war comes death, and darkness is a heaviness to it, a sadness to it, but life and freedom can be born out of it. It's amazing. A couple beautiful pieces, some flowers. This is one by Chloe capturing kind of the seed pods. You can almost envision them, the air blowing them, the breath involved there. Here's another one by Amaya. Now, it's kind of hard to see with the light, but if I zoom in here, you see this picture of a person's face, and they're just kind of being overwhelmed by water. And that's kind of how she explained it to me. It's just like the water's flowing in over top of them and overwhelming them. In fact, when you zoom out, you'll see different pictures on the sides. And what it says is, when the water overcomes, take a deep breath and trust in God. A beautiful picture. When you feel like the water's going to totally compromise your ability to keep going, to breathe, and you're facing doom, trust in God. That's the image here. That's the message. Really, really cool. Well done, guys. There's another one here about the thing I really want to capture, and I can't show it to you on the wall because it was done digitally. And I was in Sydney's capstone today, and I thanked her because she was basically running most of chapel today, which is kind of true. I've already passed by at least a couple of her pieces, but there's one more that she gave in this year, in her grad year. It's a digital piece that really is striking. It's one of those, it's like, initially it's like, oh man, it's so graphic and it's so well done. It captures really the lifeless nature of this skeleton from Ezekiel 37. But then she used this incredible vibrant blues, and I'll put it up on the screen so you guys can see it now. You see the blue coursing through this skeleton, breathing life into it, and it's her interpretation of God bringing life where there is none and filling this being with hope that didn't have any. What an amazing gift that these students give to us. People like me that can't, that we don't have the skills to do the same thing, but I can, like through them, I can really be inspired and connect with the passage in a different way. And I trust that's the case for you. It's dusk here at the school. The building's empty. It's pretty quiet, but it's beautiful. I'm looking out over Swan Lake. The sun's hitting the water. There's a little bit of wind. You can see some waves. It's about half an hour till sunset, and it's a good time to think. And I hope that for all of you. I hope that whether you're in grade 12 and you're feeling like you're just staring down this massive transition, or for the rest of us in any grade, in any stage of life, this season is one of change. And because of that, I think it's especially important to reflect on the larger, beautiful story that is ours. So, connecting back to our theme, life from death, new life from shed blood. We're going to sing a song that I brought to the school a few years ago. And it was written by John Mayer. I really fell in love with the song right away. I loved the music, but I thought it was brilliant the way he crafted it around a number of questions. He just, like all the verses in the chorus, it's all just a list of questions. But questions that are really profound, questions that we all really, at some point, can connect with. Questions like, what about this feeling I'm never good enough? Or, does a broken home have to become another broken family? He says in the chorus, I can feel the love I want, I can feel the love I need, but it's never going to come the way I am. There's a hopelessness to it. He says, could I change it if I wanted? Can I rise above the flood? Thinking about Amaya's art piece that we looked at earlier. Will it wash out in the water, or is it always in the blood? Can I escape it? And the kind of despair in him, the lack of answers, is an honesty to it that I respect. But it just left me going, I connect with water and blood in a very different way. And so without thinking too highly of myself, I set out to try and add, in a way, for my own sake, to this song. And I wrote a couple of new verses that connect to my faith, and I walk through the story of Moses, and I revisit the account of Jesus' death, and I use the imagery of water and blood to point to this. And then the last verse says, can I see beyond the pages to his storied love for me? We know it, we've read it, we've heard it. Can you look again? And it says, will I take another look at sorrowed eyes, Jesus' eyes that look through me? Did he take that tree for granted and embrace the coming flood? Did he suffer, love, and call me to redeem me in the blood? And there lies the hope, right? Will you be my living water? Will you wash me in the blood? I hope you find some encouragement, some challenge, some inspiration in this song. And I hope you walk into the rest of this week in freedom. See you soon.
Destined to become? Will I dim the lights inside me just to satisfy someone? And what about this feeling that I'm never good enough? Will it wash out in the water, or is it always in the blood? How much of my brothers do my brothers want to be? Nobody ever could. Will it wash out in the water, or is it always in the blood? I can feel the love I want, I can feel the love I need, but it's never gonna come the way I am. Could I change it if I wanted? Can I rise above the flood? Will it wash out in the water? Is it always in the blood? Or is there a slavery that we choose to let it be? Will we ever lose these idols that prevent us being free? Or will we heed that ancient warning about the coming of a flood? Will we swim the Nile's water when he turns it into blood? I still need the love I want, you can be the love I need, but you tell me just to come embrace the coming flood? Did he suffer, love, and call me